أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا وشفيعنا محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد فقال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام القديم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you believe, fasting is prescribed to you as it was prescribed to those before you, that he may learn self-restraint. That he may learn self-restraint, or taqwa, as the commentators would have mentioned. My dear brothers and sisters, respected elders and children, about 3 weeks ago I would have started this Khutba, and we talked about fasting, of course, trying to remember the gains that we would have achieved during the month of Ramadan, and I ask Allah for myself and for you to prolong the gains as much as possible, the feeling, the attitude, the behaviors that you exhibited with each other, with, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the closeness that you would have felt during the month of Ramadan, and all of us would like it to continue as long as possible, because we call in the khutbah the charitable nature that we have, that we will always showing this smiling, welcoming face to each other, and we were kind. The Jamaat and Jamaats throughout the country, throughout the world, were buzzing with activities that brought people closer and closer together. We felt it, all of us experienced it, whether we were here, in another Jamaat, at home, or wherever we were. And we identify some of the things that Shaitan did, the enemy of us, would have done to make sure that this does not continue. And we talk about the elements where the ones that Shaitan liked the most and what they would have done, and the Muslims that Shaitan hated and what they would have done. Those of you who are here would have remembered some of it, I hope. And I'll just probably try to mention 1 or 2 points that Shaitan said. And I put it, O Prophet of Allah, my first enemy is you and your Abdul. If it were not for you and your Abdul, my mission would have been quite successful. So if you were to watch at that statement alone, if you take here says, if it wasn't for the Prophet and his mission, then he would have taken all of us. So that statement alone, if we just concentrate on that for the whole Khutba, the whole life. And just remember that if we do not have the Prophet in our lives, of course the Prophet examples, the Prophet practices, then Shaitan is going to be taking control of us, or would take control of us. That alone is significant, my dear brothers and sisters. I just want to continue with a bit of along those lines, and I'm sure that you will remember over here the rest of that. I will just remember the closing remarks of the Khutba that says, my 10th friend is the person who keeps long hopes and delays in asking forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My 11th friend, that is the friend of Shaitan. My 11th friend is the person who helps women increase their interest by performing magic on people. They are my 11 friends who are the worst enemies of Allah. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Shaitan, tell us why you stop my followers from offering their salah, their prayers. What benefit do you, Shaitan, get? Shaitan said, whenever your followers recite prayers, my body gets feverish and it starts to shiver. And with a sick body, I cannot deceive my followers from obeying Allah. Then all of us should attempt to make sure Shaitan is sick. By doing what? By performing our salah, by reading Quran. And he continued. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Shaitan, why do you stop my followers from observing their fast during the month of Ramadan? And we would have mentioned also the benefits of fasting outside of Ramadan. I can't deceive them during the time they fasted because I'm thrown into prison and I can't misguide them. Maybe because we are not misguided, that it is so peaceful, it is so harmonious, it is so loving. We respect each other, we are charitable during the month of Ramadan. Then maybe we should create atmosphere, Jamaat's home, that we allow us to create during the month of Ramadan. Prophet Muhammad said, Shaitan, when my followers prepare to fight in Allah's way, why do you stop them? Shaitan said, when they go to fight for Allah's sake, my hands are tied to my neck and I can't deceive them by having my hands tied to my neck. Our lives should be in such a way that it forces Shaitan for his hands to be tied behind his neck. And later you could see how, inshallah, you could do that. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why do you prevent in this season my followers from performing Hajj? Shaitan said, when they go for Hajj, their movements of going towards Hajj ties my legs. And with my legs tied, just like his hands, he cannot misguide followers from obeying Allah's commands. Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why do you prevent my followers from reciting the Holy Quran? We are prevented from reciting the Holy Quran. Therefore, we have to devise means throughout our lives to find ourselves in places where we should be reciting the Holy Quran. Shaitan said, when they recite the Holy Quran, my existence turns into non-existence. When the followers recite the Holy Quran, my existence, the mere existence of Shaitan becomes non-existent. then we would not be misguided. And without having any existence, how can I deceive your followers from living according to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, why do you prevent my followers from offering dua, supplication? Shaitan said, when they recite dua, I become deaf and dumb. So we don't want to make shaitan deaf and dumb. How can I deceive your followers from having the ability to speak and the ability to listen? When he is dumb, shaitan, we are able to speak right things and we are able to hear right things. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Shaitan, tell me why do you prevent my followers from paying sadaqah? Shaitan said, O Prophet of Allah, and here respecting Shaitan is respecting our Prophet. He didn't say Prophet or Muhammad. He said, O Prophet of Allah. With love, Shaitan loves. When your followers pay sadaqah, giving money in charity, it is as if I am being cut in two with a sword. One piece is thrown in the east and the other in the west. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, why do you get such a strong blow when my followers pay sadaqah? Why do you get cut into two pieces? Shaitan said, whenever a person gives his money in charity, that person receives three benefits from Allah. The first benefit is a person receives is that Allah becomes his borrower. Allah becomes our borrower. He is obligated to us for something. The second benefit is that Allah makes heaven his, the borrower or the person who gives the sadaqah, his inheritance, such that he will be called an owner of heaven. And the third benefit is that Allah increases his wealth 700 times, which in turn this person uses the increased wealth for charity. Prophet Muhammad said, Shaitan, now tell me, when does a person who is my follower get under my total control? Shaitan said, O Prophet of Allah, your follower, that is you and I, your follower gets under my total control when they perform three things. Shaitan is saying you'll get under his control when we perform three things. The first thing is that when your follower becomes stingy, he gets under my control. And we wouldn't know when we get stingy, you know. You have to know that if Shaitan is with us, we would not know when we are getting stingy. Your eyes and ears have to be open. And if Shaitan is with you, it is closed. And later you could by understand what we need to do. Stinginess is the root of all sin, which makes a person perform all types of other sins. There's a precipice you go down. The second thing is that a person starts forgiving his own sins. So we forgive ourselves. You're a good boy. That's right. Don't worry. So we don't see, we blind. Because Shaitan is camouflaging everything. He's making it rosy and nice first. The second thing is that when a person starts forgiving his own sins, this person performs deeds which are against the will of Allah. Because he's following out the dictates of Shaitan. And we would not know. And you and I need to concentrate on the fact that we would not know how do we become any know what should we do to become in the know? And we should be concentrating on that. This person performs deeds which are against the will of Allah. Then he does not remember them, nor does he ask for forgiveness. At that time, he comes under my absolute control. And the third thing is that when a person gambles, O Prophet of Allah, any person who performs these three things falls under my absolute control. Prophet Muhammad said, Shaitan, you know that Allah has given my followers a strong weapon of repentance. Whenever my followers ask for true forgiveness, with an intention of not repeating that sin, Allah forgives them. How do you deal with this problem, Shaitan? I know Prophet Shaitan is saying, Allah has given them this strong weapon. You have a weapon, we have a weapon. But what I have prepared myself to confront your followers with this strong weapon. But I have prepared myself. What method do you have through which you prevent my followers from dealing with or asking for forgiveness? Shaitan said, O Prophet of Allah, to deal with this problem, I have created 4 different units. Each unit deals with different age group of your followers. So you take us in phases, in eras, and we have to deal with things along those lines to understand from whence we are attacked. What are these units? And I will briefly say them beside. What are these units, Shaitan? In the first unit, I occupied your old men in 4 sins. I made them lie. I made them accuse one another or someone of something which they have not done. I made them testify falsely. And I made them perform prayers without having the complete knowledge of the laws of performing such prayers. O Prophet of Allah, your own men will be offering du'as and reciting obligatory prayers. But if you talk to them, you will hear them talking bad about people. So the prayers is of no use. Falsely attributing bad deeds to other people, falsely do that. Without and reciting obligatory prayers without knowing all the laws of prayer. Your own men will not try to learn the laws of prayer because of their pride, their ego. We are in classes, it was announced, for old people, for young people, for not old people, for not young people. And we are having this now. That is why we have classes in different systems, all classes. And all are beneficial, my dear brothers and sisters. For Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, acquire knowledge. It enables its possessor to distinguish right from wrong, from distinguishing shaitanic deeds, acts, connotation, influences from what is right. It lightens the way to heaven. It is our friend in the desert, our society in solitude, our companion when friendless. It guides us to happiness. It sustains us in misery. It is an ornament among friends and an armor against shaitan or enemies. The acquisition of knowledge is a sacred duty. It's a duty incumbent on every Muslim and all of us, whatever your age, whatever your occupation, wherever you are. You cannot be tired. We cannot be tired at the end of the day to say we are not going to the masjid if the masjid is the place of learning or class or that or any time or wherever. I said that we are made an 8-hour day work and we are tired because shaitan is waiting for you and I. And that is the time he's going to take you. He's living with us and we have to seek out ways to make sure that he's no longer with us. He who leaveth home in search of knowledge walks in the path of Allah. If you are walking in the path of Allah, Would Shaitan walk with you? Shaitan would never walk with you in the path of Allah. So my dear brothers and sisters, this has a lot more. It has a lot more that we can go into, but let us just take what little that has been given to you and I today, and remember that if we stay where we are going backwards. If we stay where we are going backwards, and Shaitan is going with us. So I am appealing to myself, first of all, and all of you, to make sure that your children, because Shaitan they can all lead you, your children first of all, come to the backwards. Make sure if they don't come here, they go somewhere. Because let me tell you something. And proudly I'm saying this. Recently, with the sponsor of one of our members of our Jamaat, the generous sponsor, is on a new drive with education in the district, in the region. It's like a reawakening, a renaissance, where money is being spent to sustain markets, to encourage people to have a market wherever their children are. Be part of it. Prince's Cup should not be left out. The class has started here. It was fantastic. We have 40, 45 people. We should have 80, 85, 100 people. All of us should go to that class. The children to the market, the Imam class is on Tuesday. We should be coming out in our numbers, just to make sure Shaitan is not with us. And also Wednesday and Saturday. And the Haji goes on to say, if anyone goes in his way in search of knowledge, God will thereby make it easy for him the way to paradise. I just have a few hadith and I'll just read the last one. Acquire knowledge. It enables its possessor to distinguish right from wrong. This was said before. Because if you don't have knowledge, and you don't know if you have knowledge, or we don't have knowledge, none of us have enough knowledge. None of us. Nobody here can say they are knowledgeable. We are. Because Shaitan is more knowledgeable than all of us. And we have to get rid of it. How could you get rid of somebody who is more knowledgeable if you don't have the assistance of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always with you? Because you have to be, and for you to do that, you have to be part of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So acquire knowledge, it enables its possessor to distinguish right from wrong. It lights the way to heaven. It is our friend in the desert, our companions in solitude. Companion when friendless, it guides us to happiness, it sustains us in misery. It is an ornament among friends and an armor against enemy. Shaitan is enemy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make me, first of all, understand these words and respond to it. May He, inshallah, make you, your wives, and your children, your home, do not only one person, whether it be female or male, go forward educationally, whether it be academic or religious, and leave all the other path, whether it be male or female. The whole family has to go forward holistically, not academically alone. Religiously alone can sustain you, but you want to survive in this world and also be careful. Now let me make this journey for us easy, inshallah.